The book of grind is open.
The book of grind is here, guys. The book of grind brown and growling brown. Growling brown. What's with this growling brown? Tell me more.
Oh, man. I just love a good growl when I'm working out, man. It's like when the workout's getting hard, just going, just
That's
getting
it.
it out.
I love
It,
it.
it helps. It helps me out big time.
I love that. I love that. I'm a fan of a growl. I've been trying
Yeah,
to cage the growling beast at workouts recently, just to try and
yeah,
be more centered in what I'm doing, because sometimes I
right.
start growling and it just takes me away. It takes me away to the point where I'm just growling, like drinking my water and stuff. Like it's a bit too much, you know.
And
And
that turns into gargling.
yeah.
Like, like, uh-oh.
The gym floor, like, what the hell's wrong with this guy, man?
Yeah,
He's already here with his socks on, half wearing his shoes, half not wearing his shoes, and he's growling while he's drinking his water. He needs help. He needs help. Good growl is needed. So
yeah, man.
sometimes this is an overshare, but sometimes I have a little growl to myself on the way to the gym when I'm like driving to the gym, and I'm just like, I'm about to kill this workout. I need to just kind
Yes.
of let something out in me. I think it's
Yeah,
totally natural. I think it's totally natural. I think you got to go there with yourself, man.
that's it, man. Get
Yeah,
the uncage, unleash the animal.
that's it. What exercise made you growl in your workout?
Oh man, it's just when you like start to push it a little bit. So
Mm.
I was trying because I didn't know if I was gonna like I didn't know where in my day I was gonna. I had the energy for a workout today, and like my body felt good. So I was like, oh, I wasn't really necessarily expecting to work out today, but I just woke up. I was like, I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna do it before the podcast, otherwise I'm not gonna get a chance to. And so I just wanted to hammer out a bit of like just I only had about half an hour, so I wanted to hammer out a bit of a conditioning circuit. So towards the end, it's like 20 minutes in. It's like, okay, now this is where the heart rate is staying high, and I'm gonna have to bash through it. So that's when I started just repping out some growls as well, repping out some exercise and repping out some growls.
I love
And
it. I love it.
yeah, so it just helps, man. It just like unleash a little bit of energy and
Yeah, man.
just get
That's
some of
what
that
you be.
primal power.
Love it. Love it. I actually read something on Instagram this week. I'll send you it after this.
Mm,
The guy was talking about sound
mm,
and movement, sound and movement,
yeah,
how they're synonymously linked. Like, and this obviously links back to our podcast tease on
yeah,
Instagram. Like hearing a
exactly.
good song and then moving to the good song, and like what that does to genuinely our energies. And I feel like
Hmm.
I don't know anything about chakras or this kind of stuff people talk about, but I imagine that they help you just align. That word alignment, right, always kind of comes up for us.
Yes.
And having like something trigger that part of your brain, and then your body kind of be in sync with the tune or whatever. It must bring out something like primordial in us. You know what I mean? Like where we just have
Yeah.
to war dance or haka or something like that. It's just
Yes.
it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that video you sent me earlier this week of Eric Thomas's motivation video,
Oh
"You Owe
yes,
You," right?
yes.
And he's like, I don't know anything about rugby. I don't know the New Zealand anything about New Zealand except I know about the All Blacks. Why? Because they're winners, right? And winners keep winning. And then you just cut to them just doing the hacker, and it's just you're like, yes, you have to get jacked watching that crap, man.
That's
There's
it,
no
man.
way.
That's it. And I think I had this chat with a client this week about the things that make you align with that part of you, because that part of you gets shit done. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Regardless of the situation. And if you can get jacked for anything, if you can get jacked for literally, doesn't matter what you're doing in your life, really kind of find a fire behind it, you can do anything. You can legit do anything, right? And this is why I love ET so much, because he he uses his own story, obviously, which I think we all need to do. But then it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's if you're cleaning the street, if you're cleaning the floor, if you're sweeping up outside, make it legit. And if you can find some
yes.
fire behind why you're doing it, well, literally legit. Like
Mm,
we talked about this last week about like your genes expressing themselves. So like everything
mm,
we do, we're teaching ourselves something, right? We're teaching ourselves
yes.
how to be through that activity, and you can be being while being weak and being kind of mopey and wee and whiny and whatever, or you can be being while being fire. You know what I mean? I know which one I'm going to choose. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need those
Yeah.
reps where you kind of chill and whatever, but sometimes you need those reps where you just, I need to cultivate this beast. You know what I mean? I need to kind of
Yes.
make friends with him all the way through the day. And I'm going to kind of speed off into a different topic that I thought about this week, right?
Mm,
And the phrase in my head was keys, keys like a car key, keys to my Colossus. And that basically to me means, what are the things that I need to put into this lock. Imagine like a door that has multiple keys in it, and you need to click and turn and click and turn and click and turn a few different things to unlock that. Like Tony Robbins calls it the giant within, right? That everybody has this giant within them that they can literally call upon to complete a task, to get them to do something like quit smoking, or just be who they need to be in that moment. You know what I mean? What are your keys to your Colossus? And I had to think for myself, and that word kind of resonates, right? Because it's a sick word. You think of X-Men, you think Colossus, and that metal man who can like can't be stopped kind of thing. But then there's it's just kind of one of those words that I think the word itself just means something that just an unstoppable force, right? You can just get shit done now. And for me, it's like always comes back to family, always comes back to my why, always comes back down to how I want to, what kind of legacy you want to leave. And this is ties into the Ray Lewis speech that I sent you. Did you listen to that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so good, right? Well, the bit in there where he's like, whatever you're gonna do it. Leave your legacy. When he says leave your legacy, I just like I'm just game face, Like I listen to that on the way to training in the morning. Sometimes I'm listening to it at 4 in the morning, and I'm just like, this is getting done now. Doesn't matter what it is, it's getting done. Like I'm not going back to bed anymore. You know what I mean? That's done.
Yeah.
That's old news. Yeah, man.
I'm too awake now. That's better. That shit's way better than caffeine.
Yeah, too right, man. That's because it's coming from inside, right? It's grabbing a hold of you and being like, what are you right now? Where are you at? And I love that. And this, you know, I mean, I'm going to bring this into the podcast. The week that we had off, like that was me not aligning with the things I need to get done. And we had this chat off air where you called me up on it, and you said, look, I need this, I need that, and that was the best thing you could have done for me. You know, legit the best thing you could have done for me, because the week since has been so aligned in so many good ways. And we're going to get into the name. And genuinely, big thank you. No, not that you didn't do it in a kind of pissed off way, but you did it in an expectant way, which is you expect me to be better than I was, and I need that. You know, I mean that's the whole point of all this. Like you hold me accountable. We speak on this stuff as our own experiences, and our listeners listen. And now it's like, okay, what about you? What are you doing? You know what I mean? And that's the light you shone on me. It made me see that I was where I could optimize. Okay, find more time, make more time, sleep better, so you can get up better, and you can organize this here. And even though you've got more clients coming out your butt than ever, fantastic, fine, good, run with it. You know what I mean? Run with it, and keep going, because you want to spin all these plates. Well, then spin all these plates. And that links into the name Book of Grind Brown. And that's like, I heard this quote, I've talked about it on the podcast before. It was on some guy's YouTube page back in the day, and I think it was it's like one of these. Have you heard of 3D MJ?
No.
3D Muscle Journey. They're like Eric Helms.
Okay. Oh, I've heard of Eric Helms.
Yeah, Eric Helms. I think Eric Helms, Alberto Nunez, one of their guys. I think it was Alberto Nunez video actually, right? And he talked about how this other guy on his video said that's a quote that he liked, which was, the Book of Grind has no missing pages. So if I'm gonna write this book, which is, I've got to do my training in the morning, I've got to work on clients, I've got to make sure I work on getting new clients, I work on sustaining and progressing current clients, and then there's meal prep, and then there's family stuff, and then there's business stuff, and there's all this other stuff, second training through the day, washing your clothes, making sure you sleep properly, making sure you breathe properly, making sure you make time for the podcast, all these little things.
Yeah, man.
There's no missing pages in that book. You know what I mean? So get after it. Simply put, find your Colossus and make friends with that guy, and then go and be all that you can be. You know what I mean?
100%, man. And get yourself always course correcting, man. That's what we talk about all the time as well, and that's what we do. And that was and it was, I mean, that was a really great experience for me as well. It's like, you know, in the sense that when we had that missing week, and it's like you felt misaligned and how it impacted me, it was like, okay, let me think about this. You know, let me think about why it's impacting me the way that it is. Let me think about let me try and picture it from Umar's point of view. Let me think if I'm like, you know, being reasonable and calling this out, all those different things, because that was a process that I hadn't really been through myself for at least a very, very long time, because, you know, to just like the kind of like the nature of doing a bunch of stuff on my own, I haven't had that kind of relationship with someone where I've had to rely on them for a little bit. Right. And so that was a really interesting experience. So it was growth for both of us, for sure. It was just, it was me trying to figure out why it had the impact on me that it did, and then me also trying to put it to you so that we were both back in that alignment basically as well. So again, it's and like with the way you described it as well, the expectant thing, that was that is true, because there ends up being a bit of a mismatch in expectations. So that's what I was trying to really think about as well, and really feel, which was, if you feel like you're impacted by something in a negative way, part of that is because there's a mismatch in expectation as well. In that, it's like, I know you live yourself up to a high standard, and so because I see that, if that goes slightly below, I'm like, oh shit, what's just happened? And then so you help me see how things affect me, and then like you said, I helped you to get yourself back into alignment as well. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that I appreciate that it happened as well, so that we could both experience some growth out of it as well. And it really helped me also to kind of get back in the groove as well, because the fact that this is a weekly thing that we do, this podcast, it really does. I noticed by conspicuous bias absence as well, that when we didn't do it, I was like, oh, I was a little bit flat during the week as well. And so, because it's a nice marker in the week of something where we get to articulate things to each other, or just to get things off our chest, to really try and think through things and speak our truth. And that's a really nice way of getting aligned as well. And then that was missing, so I was like, oh shit, this is also how it's kind of had that effect. And so it's kind of like, it was an unexpected break, but it was necessary break as well, for the reasons they happened, and they helped us grow as well.
Too right, man. Too right. I like what you said there about the repetition of getting this opportunity each week to talk through things with yourself, to articulate ourselves. And I've talked about it in the past, like not being able to do that in the past, but now having a forum where it's scheduled, and every week we sit down, we just talk. I mean, like people who know us know the podcast is not massively planned. It's not massively overthought of. I mean, we've started to, I think today's probably the longest we've chatted before we've come on air. In a long time,
for a while,
because we realized that we start talking and it's good stuff. It's stuff that we enjoy talking about. We want to present to the world, but we haven't even pressed record yet. So it's like, okay, get that on. And yeah, I completely resonate with that. And that, I think that's I've realized now that it's a invaluable thing that I was not prioritizing as highly as I should prioritize it within the scope of my week, because of what practice it gives me for my week, if that makes sense. Like the way you said, it helps you align, and then you start your week with clients, and that it's almost like you walk into a room and now you're prepared. I mean, the people around you look to you with expectation, and you've now drilled. This is drilling. I mean, this is the same as doing the arm drag, doing the inside leg tap, or whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? In terms of jiu-jitsu, or in terms of boxing, or whatever, rolling the hooks, it's the same thing, but it's for conversation, and it's for expression, like you talked about. And I think that's a key thing. And I don't pre-doing this. I think you're totally right. I had a bit of experience with this when I was in London last year with a few of my two of my flatmates. We had some amazing chats, and then coming back to Leicester, me and TJ have definitely picked up on that as well. But then it's different with yourself. It's a different experience. And yeah, man, like you said, it definitely sets you up for the week.